Captain Alex Morrison stood perfectly still beside the embassy's main podium as Queen Helena of Earth stepped forward to address the Galactic Council. The assembled delegates from 47 star systems filled the vast chamber, their attention focused entirely on the human monarch. Morrison's trained eyes swept the room methodically, cataloging every face, every movement, every potential threat to the woman he had sworn to protect. The Queen raised her hand, and the chamber fell silent. Morrison's earpiece crackled with status reports from his team positioned throughout the building. Everything appeared normal, yet something felt wrong. The alien delegates seemed unusually tense, their breathing patterns irregular, their body language suggesting barely contained anxiety. "Honored members of the Galactic Council," Queen Helena began, her voice carrying clearly through the chamber's advanced acoustics. "I stand before you today to address the persistent requests for Earth's classification within your universal database." Morrison noticed several delegates shifting uncomfortably. The Zentorian ambassador's secondary arms twitched nervously, while the crystalline representative from Lyra Prime dimmed noticeably. His hand moved instinctively closer to his weapon, though he maintained his stoic expression. "For 3 years you have pressured us to accept designation as a standard inhabited world," the Queen continued. "You have offered us technology, trade agreements, and membership benefits in exchange for opening our borders to galactic commerce and immigration." A low murmur rippled through the assembly. Morrison caught sight of Agent Kelly Zhang, positioned near the rear exit, her subtle nod confirming she had also noticed the unusual reactions. Protocol demanded they remain calm regardless of circumstances, but Morrison's instincts screamed that something significant was about to unfold. The Queen paused, allowing the tension to build. "After careful consideration with our scientific community, military advisors, and civilian population, Earth hereby formally declares its official classification." Morrison watched as every delegate leaned forward slightly, their anticipation palpable. The silence stretched for several heartbeats before Queen Helena delivered her verdict. "Earth declares itself the ultimate death world. We are not suitable for visitation, trade, or any form of contact beyond diplomatic necessity." The reaction was immediate and devastating. Morrison had witnessed many shocking moments during his career, but nothing compared to the collective gasp that echoed through the chamber. Several delegates physically recoiled as if struck. The Andromedian representative actually fell from his hovering platform, while others began rapid conversations in their native languages. Morrison's earpiece exploded with chatter from his team. Zhang reported elevated stress readings from her position. Agent Marcus Cole confirmed unusual movement patterns among the security details of various delegations. The atmosphere had shifted from diplomatic formality to something approaching panic. "The classification stands," Queen Helen announced firmly. "Our planet will remain off-limits to all non-essential galactic interaction. We request that this decision be entered into official records immediately." Morrison watched the assembly dissolve into chaos. Delegates were frantically activating communication devices, presumably to contact their home worlds. The implications began settling over the room like a storm cloud. If Earth classified itself as a death world, it meant humans had evolved on a planet so dangerous that other species could not safely visit. The Zentorian ambassador struggled to speak, his voice shaking with what Morrison recognized as fear. "Your Majesty, surely there has been some mistake. Your species appears perfectly civilized. Your planet's environmental readings suggest standard atmospheric conditions." Queen Helena's smile was diplomatic but firm. "Ambassador, our classification is based on comprehensive analysis of our world's actual dangers, not surface appearances. We believe honesty serves everyone's best interests." Morrison noted how quickly the energy in the room had changed. Where moments before there had been eagerness to welcome humanity into the galactic community, now there was visible apprehension. Several delegations were already gathering their materials as if preparing to leave. The crystalline delegate from Lyra Prime dimmed further before speaking in a voice like wind chimes. "Your Majesty, Deathworld classifications are reserved for planets with extreme environmental hazards, predatory ecosystems, or atmospheric conditions incompatible with standard galactic life." "Precisely," the Queen replied. Morrison felt the weight of that single word settle over the chamber. The implications were staggering. Every delegate now understood that humans had not only survived, but thrived on a world that would be lethal to their own species. The political and military ramifications would ripple throughout the galaxy. As if on cue, several communication devices began chiming simultaneously. Morrison watched delegates receiving what appeared to be urgent messages from their governments. The mood shifted again, this time towards something resembling terror. Queen Helena stood calmly at the podium, waiting for the chaos to subside. Morrison admired her composure under pressure, though he wondered if she fully understood the magnitude of what she had just unleashed. The galaxy would never view humanity the same way again, and his job of protecting Earth's interests had just become infinitely more complex. The chamber gradually quieted as delegates processed the announcement. Morrison prepared for whatever came next, knowing that history had just taken a dramatic turn. The age of human innocence in galactic affairs was over, and a new chapter was about to begin. Morrison's earpiece erupted with urgent transmissions from Agent Zong. "Captain, we're receiving massive communication spikes from across the galaxy. Every major government is activating emergency protocols. Something big is happening out there." The Queen maintained her position at the podium, seemingly unaware of the digital storm her announcement had triggered. Morrison's training kicked in as he assessed the rapidly changing situation. The delegates were no longer just surprised. They appeared genuinely frightened. The Kentarian delegate, a tall humanoid with pale blue skin, stood slowly. "Your Majesty, with respect, Deathworld classifications are not self-determined. The Galactic Council must verify such claims through independent assessment teams." Queen Helena's expression remained serene. "Ambassador, Earth welcomes any assessment team brave enough to conduct a comprehensive planetary survey. We simply wanted to save everyone time and resources by providing fair warning." Morrison caught the subtle emphasis on brave enough and realized the Queen was playing a deeper game than he had initially understood. She was not just making a declaration. She was issuing a challenge that few species would dare accept. Agent Cole's voice crackled through the comm system. "Captain, I'm monitoring communications from the Andromedian fleet. They're requesting immediate tactical assessments of human military capabilities. This is escalating beyond diplomatic channels." The implications crystallized in Morrison's mind. The Queen had not simply announced Earth's status, she had fundamentally altered humanity's position in galactic politics. No longer would they be viewed as newcomers seeking acceptance. They were now a potential threat that demanded careful consideration. The Zentorian ambassador activated a holographic display showing Earth's basic planetary data. "Your Majesty, our preliminary scans indicate atmospheric composition suitable for most galactic species. Average temperatures fall within acceptable ranges. Surface water appears abundant and clean. Surface conditions can be deceiving, Ambassador," Queen Helena replied. "I encourage you to examine our biological diversity reports, geological activity summaries, and weather pattern analyses before making any hasty judgments." Morrison watched as several delegates began frantically accessing databanks on their personal devices. The more information they retrieved, the more their expressions changed from skepticism to concern to outright alarm. The crystalline delegate's voice grew higher in pitch. "Your Majesty, these reports indicate over 8 million known species on your planet, with predators capable of eliminating most galactic life forms. Your weather systems include phenomena that would be catastrophic to our civilizations. Our children learn to swim in waters containing creatures that could devour most galactic vessels," the Queen added conversationally. "We consider this normal childhood development." A collective shudder ran through the assembly. Morrison suppressed a smile as he realized the Queen's strategy was working perfectly. She had turned humanity's evolutionary advantages into a diplomatic weapon more powerful than any military fleet. Agent Zong reported through the comm system. "Captain, long-range sensors are detecting fleet movements throughout the galaxy. Multiple governments are repositioning their forces. Whatever we've started here, it's triggering major strategic responses." The Andromedian representative, having recovered from his earlier fall, demanded access to Earth's military specifications. "If your planet truly qualifies as a death world, we require full disclosure of human defensive capabilities." Queen Helena's smile became even more diplomatic. "Ambassador, Our military specifications are classified for the safety of all involved parties. However, I can confirm that humans have never lost a conflict on our home planet." Morrison realized the brilliant ambiguity of that statement. Technically accurate, it suggested invincibility while revealing nothing about actual capabilities. The Queen was masterfully manipulating the delegates' imaginations to fill in gaps with their worst fears. The chamber's communication arrays began overloading as governments across the galaxy demanded updates from their representatives. Morrison watched the technological chaos with professional appreciation. The Queen had achieved strategic superiority without firing a single shot. The Zentarian ambassador made one final attempt at negotiation. "Your Majesty, surely accommodations could be made for limited visitation under controlled conditions? The galactic community has much to offer Earth." "And Earth has much to offer the galaxy," Queen Helena replied. "Perhaps it is better that we maintain respectful distance while we all adjust to this new understanding of our respective capabilities." Morrison noted how brilliantly she had framed the situation. Earth was not rejecting galactic civilization. It was protecting other species from dangers they could not comprehend. The moral high ground belonged entirely to humanity. The formal session dissolved as delegates rushed to contact their home governments. Morrison coordinated with his team to ensure the Queen's safe withdrawal from what had become a diplomatic earthquake. The galaxy would spend years processing the implications of what they had just witnessed. Agent Cole reported massive data requests flooding Earth's communication networks as governments desperately sought intelligence about human capabilities. The Queen's announcement had transformed humanity from aspiring galactic citizens into the galaxy's most feared potential threat. As they escorted Queen Helena from the chamber, Morrison marveled at the elegant simplicity of her strategy. She had used truth as a weapon more devastating than any military technology. The galaxy now understood that humans were not just another species seeking membership in their civilization. The transformation was immediate and profound. Within hours of Queen Helena's announcement, the galactic communication networks were overwhelmed with emergency transmissions. Morrison monitored the flood of intelligence requests, military assessments, and panicked diplomatic queries that poured in from across known space. Agent Zong coordinated with Earth's communication centers as governments demanded everything from biological assessments of human physiology to detailed analyses of Earth's ecosystem. The requests revealed how little the galaxy truly understood about humanity's evolutionary background. "Captain," Zhang reported through secure channels, "we're receiving formal requests from the Lyran Defense Council for specifications on human reaction times, strength capabilities, and environmental tolerances. They're treating this as a military intelligence priority." Morrison observed the Queen reviewing reports in her private chamber, adjacent to the main embassy hall. Her calm demeanor masked what he knew must be intense satisfaction with the day's results. She had achieved more strategic advantage in one afternoon than most civilizations gained through decades of diplomacy. The Zentaurian delegation requested an emergency session with Earth's military attaché. Morrison accompanied the Queen to what was supposed to be a routine briefing, but quickly realized the aliens were conducting a subtle interrogation. "Your Majesty," the Zentaurian commander began carefully, "our tactical analyses suggest that Deathworld survivors typically develop enhanced physical capabilities. Would it be appropriate to inquire about human baseline specifications?" Queen Helena gestured toward Morrison. "Perhaps he could demonstrate basic physical protocols for your assessment." Morrison understood immediately. The demonstration was not about showing off. It was about establishing realistic human capabilities while maintaining operational security. He performed a series of standard exercises that would be impressive to alien observers without revealing classified techniques. The Zentaurian delegation recorded everything with multiple scanning devices. Morrison noticed their growing unease as they realized that what humans considered normal military fitness exceeded their species' maximum physical potential. Agent Cole reported through the comms system that similar demonstrations were being requested by delegations throughout the embassy complex. The aliens were desperately trying to understand the implications of human evolution on a planet they now recognized as extraordinarily dangerous. "Captain," the crystalline delegate interjected, "our analyses indicate that your demonstrated capabilities would classify as enhanced soldier specifications in most galactic militaries. Are we to understand that this represents standard human baseline?" Standard military baseline, Morrison confirmed. Civilian populations maintain different fitness levels depending on their occupational requirements and personal interests. The implications sank in visibly. If military humans were this capable, and civilians varied in abilities, the aliens were facing enormous uncertainty about human potential across the entire population spectrum. Queen Helena seized the moment to drive home her strategic advantage. Gentlemen, Earth's classification as the ultimate death world reflects our genuine concern for galactic safety. We have evolved capabilities that might prove overwhelming in conventional diplomatic or commercial interactions. Morrison watched the delegates exchange meaningful glances as they processed this information. The Queen was brilliantly reframing human advantages as protective consideration for other species rather than threatening displays of superiority. The Andromedian representative requested clarification about human educational systems. Your Majesty, do human children receive combat training as part of standard development? Human children learn survival skills appropriate to our planetary environment? Queen Helena replied diplomatically. What you might consider combat training we view as necessary life skills for safely navigating Earth's natural challenges. Morrison realized the genius of her response. She had acknowledged human martial capabilities while presenting them as environmental necessities rather than military preparation. The aliens would imagine Earth's children learning to fight off predators as casually as other species learned basic mathematics. Agent Zhang transmitted updates about galactic fleet movements. Captain, long-range sensors indicate major military repositioning throughout the local galactic arm. Several governments are establishing what appear to be containment perimeters around human space. The news confirmed Morrison's assessment that the Queen's strategy had succeeded beyond all expectations. The galaxy was treating humanity as a potential existential threat, requiring careful military consideration. Earth had achieved strategic deterrence through diplomatic revelation rather than military demonstration. Your Majesty, the Zentorian commander asked hesitantly, would Earth consider establishing formal military exchange programs? Our tactical departments are extremely interested in understanding human strategic methodologies. Queen Helena smiled with perfect diplomatic grace. Ambassador, Earth believes that some knowledge transfers might prove more dangerous than beneficial to all parties involved. We prefer to maintain protective protocols for everyone's safety. Morrison admired how she had transformed what could have been interpreted as arrogance into considerate protection. The aliens were being told that humans were too dangerous to share their methods, but it was presented as concern for alien welfare rather than human superiority. The session ended with the delegation requesting time to consult with their governments about appropriate protocols for future human interactions. Morrison escorted the Queen back to her secure quarters while coordinating with his team about the evolving security situation. The galactic response exceeded their most optimistic projections. Within 6 hours, Earth received formal diplomatic recognition as a sovereign power requiring special consideration. Trade proposals shifted from colonial exploitation models to respectful partnership agreements that acknowledged human authority. Agent Cole reported that military intelligence services across the galaxy were desperately recruiting linguists and anthropologists to better understand human culture and psychology. The aliens had realized that conventional tactical assessments were inadequate for evaluating a Deathworld species. Morrison reviewed security protocols as he realized that Earth's entire strategic position had fundamentally shifted. They were no longer supplicants seeking acceptance into galactic civilization. They were a force that demanded respect and careful handling from the established powers. The next phase would require even more careful management as the galaxy adjusted to humanity's new status. Morrison prepared for whatever challenges would emerge as the implications of the Queen's announcement continued rippling throughout known space. The transformation of Earth's galactic status accelerated throughout the following days, as governments across known space scrambled to reassess their strategic positions. Morrison coordinated with intelligence services, monitoring the unprecedented diplomatic upheaval that Queen Helena's announcement had triggered. Agent Zhang reported massive data mining operations as alien civilizations desperately researched human history. The results were apparently not reassuring to galactic leadership councils. Captain, Zhang transmitted during a routine security briefing. Intercepts indicate that several major powers are reviewing historical records of human conflicts. They're particularly concerned about something called the World Wars and nuclear weapons development. Morrison realized the aliens were discovering humanity's capacity for large-scale warfare and technological innovation under pressure. The combination of Deathworld evolution and demonstrated military history was creating exactly the kind of strategic uncertainty that Queen Helena had intended. The Galactic Council formally requested a comprehensive briefing about Earth military history and current defensive capabilities. Morrison accompanied Queen Helena to what both sides understood would be a crucial negotiation session that would determine the future relationship between humanity and the galactic community. The council chamber had been reconfigured with additional security measures that Morrison found both amusing and concerning. The aliens were clearly taking human potential seriously, but their protective protocols revealed how little they understood about actual human capabilities. Queen Helen addressed the assembled representatives with the same calm authority that had made her initial announcement so effective. Honorable delegates, Earth appreciates your concerns about our planetary classification and its implications for galactic security. The Zentorian Council leader, flanked by military advisors, requested specific information about human population distribution and military organization. Morrison noted the careful phrasing that avoided directly asking about weapons specifications, while clearly seeking strategic intelligence. Your Majesty, the council leader began, our preliminary research suggests that Earth has experienced significant internal conflicts throughout human history. How do these patterns relate to your current unified governmental structure? Queen Helena's response demonstrated the diplomatic mastery that had brought her to power. Ambassador, human history reflects our species' adaptation to challenging environmental conditions. Our conflicts have taught us valuable lessons about cooperation and resource management that serve us well in our current unified approach to galactic relations. Morrison watched the delegates process his information with obvious discomfort. The Queen had acknowledged human military history while suggesting that contemporary humanity represented an evolved unified force rather than a divided species prone to internal conflict. Agent Cole transmitted intelligence updates about galactic military preparations. Captain, surveillance indicates massive strategic repositioning among major powers. The Andromedian Empire has tripled their border patrol fleets, while the Lyran Confederation is upgrading defensive installations throughout their territory. The scope of the galactic response confirmed that Queen Helena's strategy had achieved its intended effect. Humanity was now viewed as a significant strategic factor, requiring careful military consideration from every major power in known space. The crystalline delegate raised concerns about human technological development patterns. Your Majesty, our research indicates accelerated innovation cycles in human civilization. This Deathworld adaptation appears to have produced remarkable problem-solving capabilities. Earth's environmental challenges have indeed encouraged creative solutions. Queen Helen agreed. We believe these adaptive capabilities will prove valuable as humanity contributes to galactic civilization through appropriate channels. Morrison appreciated how she had transformed alien concerns about human innovation into suggestions of positive contributions, while maintaining the underlying implication that human capabilities were formidable enough to warrant respect. The Andromedian representative requested information about human space-based capabilities. Morrison's training immediately recognized this as intelligence gathering about Earth's potential offensive reach beyond their home system. Your Majesty, our tactical assessments suggest that Deathworld species typically develop advanced space technologies as part of survival adaptations. Would Earth be willing to share information about your space-based defensive systems? Queen Helena paused, allowing tension to build before responding. Ambassador, Earth's space-based capabilities are designed primarily for planetary protection and resource acquisition within our immediate stellar region. We have no current intentions of expanding beyond the territory necessary for our species' continued development. The careful language was masterful. Morrison realized she had simultaneously acknowledged significant space-based capabilities while suggesting limited territorial ambitions, creating reassurance about human intentions while maintaining strategic ambiguity about actual capabilities. Agent Zhang reported breakthrough intelligence from intercepted communications. Captain, we're receiving indications that the Galactic Council is preparing to offer Earth permanent membership with full sovereign recognition, including territorial guarantees and non-interference agreements. The implications were staggering. Within days of declaring itself a death world, humanity had achieved the kind of diplomatic recognition that most species required centuries to obtain. The Queen's strategy had compressed normal galactic relationship development into unprecedented speed. The Council leader made a formal proposal that exceeded Morrison's expectations. Your Majesty, the Galactic Council wishes to offer Earth full membership with special status recognition. This would include territorial sovereignty guarantees, technological exchange agreements, and military non-interference protocols. Queen Helena maintained her diplomatic composure while considering the proposal. Morrison realized she was calculating the long-term implications of accepting such a generous offer versus maintaining Earth's current strategic position. The Council's offer demonstrates remarkable wisdom and foresight, she replied carefully. Earth would need to review the specific terms to ensure compatibility with our planetary security requirements and long-term development goals. Morrison understood that she was buying time while maintaining negotiating leverage. The aliens were eager to formalize agreements that would provide predictability in their relationship with humanity, while Earth could afford to be selective about the terms. The session concluded with formal requests for detailed proposal reviews and follow-up negotiations. Morrison coordinated the Queen's withdrawal while marveling at how completely the balance of power had shifted in humanity's favor, through strategic revelation rather than military confrontation. The aftermath would require careful management as Earth transitioned from galactic newcomer to recognized power. But the foundation for humanity's future among the stars had been established through diplomatic brilliance rather than technological superiority. The galactic response to Earth's near status evolved rapidly as major powers adjusted their strategic calculations to accommodate humanity's revealed capabilities. Morrison coordinated security protocols as diplomatic delegations from across known space requested formal meetings with Earth's leadership. Agent Zhang managed the flood of intelligence reports flowing through Earth's communication networks as governments attempted to understand the full implications of human evolution on a classified death world. The results were reshaping military planning throughout the galaxy. Captain, Zhang reported during a classified briefing, intercepts indicate that the Andromedian Empire is completely restructuring their expansion protocols. They're implementing new guidelines specifically designed to avoid conflicts with Deathworld species. Morrison realized that Earth's announcement had created a new strategic category that was influencing galactic military doctrine. Deathworld species were being recognized as requiring fundamentally different diplomatic and military approaches than conventional civilizations. Queen Helena reviewed preliminary membership agreements from the Galactic Council while calculating the long-term implications of various diplomatic options. Morrison observed her careful analysis of terms that would have seemed impossibly generous just days earlier. The transformation was evident in every aspect of galactic behavior toward humanity. Trade proposals shifted from exploitative resource extraction agreements to respectful partnership offers that acknowledged Earth's authority over its own development priorities. Agent Cole transmitted updates about military intelligence gathering operations that revealed the scope of alien concerns about human capabilities. Captain, our sources indicate that several governments are establishing specialized research departments dedicated to understanding Deathworld species psychology and strategic thinking. The investment of resources in understanding humanity demonstrated how seriously the galaxy was taking Earth's potential influence on future political and military developments. Morrison appreciated that fear could be more useful than friendship in certain diplomatic contexts. The Zentorian delegation presented formal proposals for technology exchange programs that carefully avoided anything that might enhance human military capabilities, while offering significant benefits in medical, agricultural, and communication technologies. Your Majesty, the Zentarian ambassador explained, our government believes that controlled technology sharing could benefit all parties while maintaining appropriate security protocols for galactic stability. Queen Helena's response reflected the sophisticated understanding of power dynamics that had brought her to leadership. Ambassador, Earth appreciates your government's cautious approach. We believe that gradual, carefully managed exchanges will serve everyone's interests better than precipitous integration. Morrison noted how she had endorsed alien caution, while reinforcing the perception that humanity required careful handling. The aliens were being trained to approach Earth with appropriate respect through their own security concerns. The Lyran Confederation requested clarification about human territorial requirements and expansion intentions. Morrison recognized this as intelligence gathering about potential future conflicts over resources or strategic positions. Your Majesty, our strategic planners require information about human space-based development plans to ensure adequate buffer zones and resource allocation protocols, the crystalline delegate explained. Earth envisions controlled expansion within our immediate stellar region based on population growth and resource requirements, Queen Helena replied. We have no intention of competing with established civilizations for contested territories. The careful language provided reassurance about human intentions, while maintaining flexibility about actual development plans. Morrison admired how she had addressed alien concerns while preserving Earth's strategic options. Agent Zong reported breakthrough developments in galactic military doctrine. Captain, intelligence indicates that the Galactic Council is implementing new strategic guidelines specifically addressing Deathworld species. This is becoming a permanent change in how they approach unknowns. The long-term implications were profound. Earth had not simply achieved favorable treatment for humanity. They had established new precedents that would influence how the galaxy approached contact with developing civilizations for decades to come. The crystalline delegate presented proposals for cultural exchange programs designed to improve galactic understanding of human psychology and social organization. Morrison realized the aliens were attempting to gather intelligence while providing benefits that would encourage cooperation. Your Majesty, our social scientists believe that careful cultural exchange could reduce misunderstandings while maintaining appropriate security distances for all involved parties. Queen Helena's acceptance was calculated to provide limited access while maintaining strategic advantages. Earth would welcome carefully structured exchanges that honor our cultural values while promoting mutual understanding. Morrison coordinated security arrangements for proposed exchange programs, while ensuring that alien access would be controlled enough to protect sensitive information about human capabilities and intentions. The session concluded with formal agreements to pursue detailed negotiations about membership terms, technology exchanges, and cultural programs that would define humanity's relationship with galactic civilization for the foreseeable future. Agent Cole reported that the agreements represented unprecedented diplomatic achievements that positioned Earth as an equal partner rather than a junior member seeking acceptance from established powers. Morrison prepared for the complex security challenges that would accompany Earth's new status, while reflecting on how strategic revelation of truth had achieved more than military confrontation could have accomplished. The transformation was complete. Humanity had evolved from unknown newcomers to respected partners through diplomatic mastery that turned evolutionary advantages into strategic assets. As Queen Helena concluded the final negotiations, Morrison coordinated the ceremonial protocols that would formally recognize Earth's membership in the Galactic Council, with full sovereign status and special consideration protocols. The signing ceremony demonstrated the complete transformation of Earth's position within galactic civilization. Morrison observed alien delegates approaching Queen Helena with a deference that would have been unimaginable just weeks earlier. Agent Zhang managed communication protocols as Earth's new status was formally transmitted throughout the galaxy, establishing humanity as a recognized power, requiring respectful consideration in all future diplomatic and military calculations. The Galactic Council Chamber had been reconfigured to accommodate Earth's new position among the primary powers, rather than the secondary members seeking recognition. Morrison noted the symbolic importance of seating arrangements that acknowledged humanity's rapid rise to prominence. Your Majesty, the Council leader announced formally. The Galactic Council unanimously recognizes Earth as a sovereign member, with full territorial guarantees, technological exchange rights, and military non-interference protocols. Queen Helena's acceptance speech reflected the diplomatic sophistication that had achieved these remarkable results through strategic revelation, rather than military confrontation or economic pressure. Honored delegates, Earth accepts membership with gratitude for the wisdom and foresight that your governments have demonstrated in recognizing the unique circumstances of our planetary development and the special considerations those circumstances require. Morrison appreciated how she had framed Earth's advantages as special circumstances requiring accommodation rather than superiority demanding submission. The aliens were being thanked for their intelligence and recognizing reality rather than being threatened into compliance. Agent Cole transmitted final intelligence assessments about galactic strategic adjustments that confirmed the permanent nature of the changes Earth's announcement had triggered throughout known space. Captain, analysis confirms that military doctrine throughout the galaxy has been permanently modified to account for Deathworld species capabilities. This goes far beyond temporary political adjustments. The scope of institutional change demonstrated that Queen Helena's strategy had achieved a lasting transformation of humanity's position within galactic civilization, rather than momentary diplomatic advantages that might erode over time. The formal ceremonies concluded with exchanges of diplomatic credentials that established Earth's embassy complex as equal to those of the oldest galactic powers. Morrison coordinated security protocols that reflected humanity's new status while maintaining protective measures appropriate to their continued special circumstances. The Zentaurian ambassador approached Queen Helena with final coordination requests about technology transfer protocols that would govern future cooperation between their civilizations. Your Majesty, our government hopes that Earth's unique capabilities might contribute to galactic scientific advancement through carefully managed collaborative projects. Earth looks forward to contributing our perspectives to galactic knowledge while learning from the accumulated wisdom of established civilizations, Queen Helena replied diplomatically. Morrison realized that she had positioned humanity as both valuable contributors and continuing students, maintaining respectful relationships while preserving the strategic advantages that Earth's special status provided. Agent Zhang reported final communication confirmations as Earth's new status was integrated into galactic governmental databases and military planning systems throughout known space. Captain, official confirmation received. Earth is now formally recognized as a sovereign Deathworld power, with full territorial guarantees extending throughout the Sol system, and appropriate expansion zones. The territorial recognition exceeded their original objectives by providing room for future human development without requiring additional negotiations or potential conflicts with established civilizations. As the ceremonies concluded and delegations prepared to return to their home worlds, Morrison reflected on the extraordinary transformation that strategic honesty about human capabilities had achieved in such a short time frame. Queen Helena had turned potentially threatening evolutionary advantages into diplomatic assets that commanded respect while providing security for Earth's continued development among the stars. The galaxy would never again view humanity as harmless newcomers seeking acceptance from established powers. Earth was now recognized as a force requiring careful consideration and respectful treatment by every government in known space. Morrison coordinated the Queen's return to Earth while monitoring the continued intelligence-gathering operations that confirmed the permanence of humanity's new position. The strategy had succeeded beyond their most optimistic projections. Through careful revelation of truth about human nature and capabilities, Earth had achieved full recognition as a sovereign power while maintaining the strategic advantages that their Deathworld evolution had provided. The future would bring new challenges as humanity learned to wield their influence responsibly, but the foundation for Earth's continued independence and prosperity among the stars had been established through diplomatic brilliance rather than military might. Morrison prepared for the next phase of his duties, protecting Earth's interests in a galaxy that now understood the true nature of humanity's capabilities and potential. The age of human innocence was over, but the age of human influence had just begun. Queen Helena's return to Earth was met with celebrations that reflected humanity's new understanding of their place in the galactic community. Morrison coordinated security as news of the diplomatic triumphs spread throughout human civilization. The transformation was complete, and the galaxy had learned to respect the species that had evolved on the ultimate Deathworld.